thank you everybody for giving this customer spotlight a watch and a listen. My name is David Grant. I'm a customer service manager, customer success manager here at AMC Technology. Been with AMC for about 5 years, coming on my 6th year. And I started off on the new business side of things, working on closing new customers. And one of the last new customers that I worked with and closed before I moved over to the customer success side was CAA Club Group. We've done a lot of really awesome work with them. And so very happy to be joined today by Kevin, who works at CAA and is going to talk to us a little bit more about what AMC and our DaVinci Toolkit has brought to the table for CAA. And maybe at the end, we'll talk a little bit about where it is they want to go further. So Kevin, if you could say a little bit about yourself, please.
Wonderful. Thank you, David. So first of all, thank you for having me on here. Happy to be here. So my name is Kevin Mack. I am with CCG or CAA Club Group. I'm one of the supervisors here for the membership department. And I've been at CAA, this will be my 10-year anniversary here. I did start from the front line. So I started taking calls as a frontline agent. So I have a very strong understanding of, how the day-to-day for the agents go and what we're kind of looking for to improve the business. And of course, the latest and greatest that we have was the partnership with AMC, with you guys, to implement our DaVinci technology. So happy to be here to discuss further about this today.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kevin. A little bit about this customer spotlight. This is really the first one that we're doing. We do not want it to be the last, certainly. We are looking forward to talking to many more of our customers after this one and learning about how it is that they choose to use the DaVinci Toolkit. Every single one of our customers has unique use cases. You may think that it's out of the box, standard, everybody does it this way. I promise you, everybody does everything just a little bit different. And that's where the DaVinci Toolkit really comes into play in being malleable, customizable. And with our services first approach, it really makes it easy to get you the desired experience that you're looking for. So from the CAA perspective, Kevin, I know that you weren't necessarily involved in the pre-sales stuff, but I was heavily involved speaking to some of your colleagues, and I know that in talking to them, they were really looking for a way to, deliver measurable time savings, and higher survey scores and customer satisfaction scores and things of that nature by modernizing the contact center technologies and the experience that the agents are having with the customers. So it's really great to hear, and to learn that you started off as a call center agent. I think I'm probably going to ask you a couple of questions about that. But would you be able to tell us a little bit about some of the services that CAA provides? Why is it that somebody would call you guys? What are they asking for help for? Things of that nature.
Absolutely. So CAA, really our bread and butter is roadside assistance. Okay. So our brand, is a very trusted brand within Canada, and ask anybody, hey, who do you call to, tow your car if you have an accident or anything like that, or a breakdown? CAA would probably be the first one they mention, right? So across the board, we have over 6 million members awesome. Within the federation, and for us particularly, so CAA Club Group, which services South Central Ontario and the Manitoba regions, we have just over 2.5 million members today. So again, the bread and butter really is roadside assistance. Our agents would take day in calls to, input service calls to send our trucks out to rescue our members, whether they be stuck on a highway or maybe they just have the car that is not starting at home. We do all sorts of the kind of emergency roadside services. And it is a membership based service. So that means we also have a lot of membership related inquiries that come in. We sell our memberships also over the phone and online, etc. But the phone channel remains to be one of the more primary ones that we're using today. So selling memberships, renewing them, and of course from where I'm from, the membership support side, which we do a lot of just kind of the general inquiries for membership services. It could be anything from, can you help us update our address? Can you help us update our account? to asking what kind of services or what kind of discounts I get with one of the rewards partners. So any
Yep.
sort of miscellaneous calls, we get a lot of call volumes on that as well.
That's very interesting. So, I have a natural question for you. Have you ever had to call your own company to get help?
Great question. So not for since I've been working here,
Okay,
but
okay, but
prior
you did
to my
before.
my family, yeah, my family actually grew up, they had CAA.
Okay,
And growing up, I never knew about all the other great things that we do here as a company. All I knew was, okay, I see the tow trucks driving around the highways every now and then. My little Honda that my mom drove when I was little had the CAA sticker in the back. So I knew that one time when I was younger, took her car and then I ran out of gas for the vehicle. I knew to call CAA and it came out. It was a great help. It was a great first impression and first experience for sure.
that's awesome. Now, of course, here in the States we don't have CAA, but I have had to call roadside assistance before. Once it was I was headed home for Christmas break from the University of Maine. Got onto the interstate and my tire was flat. And that's the only time I've had to call roadside assistance. My friends make fun of me quite a lot because they all claim that they would have changed the tire. Um, Listen, I make no bones about who it is that I am. I made that phone call and I don't regret it at all.
Did you call
So
AAA?
I did, yes, I
Okay.
did, and it was through through a membership that my parents had. Um, Foolishly, I sit here to tell you that I do not currently have a AAA membership. But through my car that I own and stuff like that, we have they have roadside assistance, which I'm sure use many of the same partners that like AAA in the States would sign up for
Got
as
it.
well. But I haven't had to call them either. So,
Yeah. So for our
part of that is
American
because I
friends, yes,
what was
CAA is the equivalent of AAA. That's why I mentioned it.
exactly, yes they are. Um, all right, awesome. So you mentioned that one of the big things is roadside assistance. Would you say roadside assistance is, we'll get into these numbers a little bit later for sure, but would you say roadside assistance is the largest percentage of the phone calls that you're receiving, or is it pretty well 50-50?
Absolutely, I would say the roadside assistance would be the most amount of volumes we get. Right
Yeah.
up in
Okay.
Canada, especially our winter can get pretty crazy sometimes. We
Yeah.
had some, even just last month, we had a pretty cold polar vortex for a few days. We had some snowstorms here and there. So, it's very seasonal, but when that kind of hits, the weather hits, we get very busy in the roadside front.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and it makes even more sense to believe to understand why CAA would be interested in improving the agent experience and the customer experience in those particular interactions. I don't think many people are calling roadside assistance in the greatest of moods necessarily, and so I imagine that if you can save some time, if you can enhance the customer experience in terms of how it is you're saving the information to your CRM, um, probably makes everything just a little bit smoother of an experience. um,
100%, 100%. So like many call centers out there, we do look closely at our average handle time or AHT. So one of which, and to your point, for roadside assistance, every second kind of counts, right? We need to make
yeah.
sure we're going there out there to rescue our members as soon as possible. And this is where you guys come in with the DaVinci technology.
Yeah. And so some of the challenges that we were looking to solve for is that faster confirmation that you're talking to the right person, that screen pop, bringing up all the customer's information, so that you can realize who it is that you're speaking to quite quickly. Now you guys are using SAP CRM as your um, as your CRM, and you're using our DaVinci toolbar, so not the native um, SAP built-in toolbar, but something that looks a little bit more like a soft phone, right? Now, another thing that I know is something that you've been looking at or thinking about is making it a little bit easier when a call gets transferred for the next person to have an idea that they're talking to the right person. This is not a unique use case in that we have other customers who, of course, deal with transfer situations, right? but not many that are dealing with situations where somebody's pulled over on the side of the road and you want to make sure that the correct account is linked. Now, on the roadside side of this, Kevin, you guys are using a custom solution, a custom in-house CRM that we actually worked with your development team and our development team for you to build your own app on the DaVinci toolkit to make it so that you could have this custom integration within this custom solution that it is that you have. So we have pre-built apps for SAP CRM. We have a pre-built app for, Avaya, which is the telephony system that you guys are using. But we actually worked with you guys to build the application for roadside. So would you be able to share with us, how is it that that's helping on the roadside side? What are the numbers behind how much time it is that we're saving you on the roadside piece of things?
Okay, great question, David. So first of all, so I'm not from the roadside side
Right.
of things, but I do have the overall numbers in terms of how much on average seconds we're saving by using your technology.
Yeah.
So first of all, I want to say the collaboration between your teams and our internal IT team has been amazing. They've been really working very hard to make this working for us, either for the membership side or the roadside assistance side. So basically, so for those who don't have a CA membership, our membership number is 16 digits long.
So that's a
So
long number.
it is a long number. And so in the old world, we would have somebody call in, whether it be for a membership inquiry or for a roadside inquiry, and they have to read off every single digit to us before we even go into the account verification, right? So on that regard, you can imagine that in itself takes a long time.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'll also have customers or members who would say, oh, maybe I need to find my card first. Let me go to my wallet. Let me go to my car and find it. So again, all that time eats up the AHT that we're trying to save. So by using your technology where we're now utilizing unique phone matches, if not, then we have the member able to actually enter the membership information during the IVR portal. It saves us that time because right now, as soon as the member reaches an agent, whatever it is that they're looking for us to help on, we now have their account information on the screen. Now, as an agent, they can start right off the bat. Can we verify your first, last name, or the best phone number to reach you? And then off we go once we're done verification. So again, that time savings there can be huge for us.
Yeah, I can't really imagine how much time it is that you're saving. I mean, how many roadside calls? So we'll start with roadside, I guess. How many roadside calls would you say that you guys are getting per quarter? I think probably your most the latest numbers that you have are for Q4, if memory serves.
Yeah, so we got to do a bit of math there, but I know we got just a little over 1 million calls for the year of 2024 for roadside alone.
Yeah,
So that's
that's a
hundreds of
lot.
thousands of calls.
Yeah.
Right.
And so in speaking with you previously, before this call and in our interactions with me as a customer success manager, I know that you guys are saving close to 40 seconds per call on some of these phone calls. So now that's on a call that gets that gets a screen pop, right? Not every single call is going to generate a screen pop. But if most of those people that are calling in on a phone number you guys have in your CRM, the amount of time that it is that you guys are saving, if you're saving 40 seconds per call per screen pop, that's extraordinary. Jess, our magnificent marketing wizard who works with our customer success team and works with our customers quite closely, put together this slide for us. And based on the numbers that you've previously shared for us about your call volume in Q4, we estimate that you guys have saved around 3,800 hours worth of work. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty
Absolutely. And I
awesome.
remember these numbers for Q4, and I like that we're using the Q4 numbers of last year because it does paint the most up-to-date picture for us, right? So
Yeah.
so from the CA side, I know now we are utilizing your technology for not only membership, but we also used it for roadside as of late 2023. and now we're also using it for travel
Travel. Yeah.
as of late last year. So for all those combined, for Q4 of last year, average savings 40 seconds per call.
Yeah. And so when you were working as a call center employee, how many I haven't asked you this before, so for anybody listening, there's no prep here, but
There's no script.
there's no script here. Do you remember offhand how many calls you were taking a day? Were you working on the membership side then?
Oh yeah, I would say anywhere from 50 to 70 calls a day, just
That's a
from
lot
my
of
end.
phone calls. Yeah. And so do you have, any recollection about how much time on average, what you were spending per call?
Yeah, and again, this is where I speak from experience when I talk
Yeah.
about the members needing to take some time to find their car sometimes, as I've heard those before
Oh,
personally,
I can imagine.
and it can take anywhere from, depending on the nature of the call, it can take anywhere from 5 minutes on average. We kind of want that to be our sweet spot, a little bit over
Okay.
5 minutes, at least for the membership support side where I'm from. But on average, some of them they can take longer. If it's something that is related to a more complex sale, for example, or a more
Yeah.
complex roadside situation, right? Although roadside, typically we're in and out very fast. As again, we want to get them in there,
Yes.
get the trucks out to help them out as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Now, when you were doing this, when you were taking calls yourself, you didn't have something similar DaVinci that you were handling the calls in, right? And so
No, we
you
did
were
not.
looking up customers manually. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a great time to me. So I'm very grateful and thankful that CAA found us and that I got that email from your coworker Wojtek, so that I was able to spread the good word about
For
DaVinci.
sure.
Now, before we hit record on this, Kevin, you let me know that you guys are actually looking at adding some more stuff to what it is that you guys are doing with DaVinci today, and what it is that you would like to be doing in the future. And so for anybody listening right now, CAA for the most part is using the DaVinci toolkit primarily for inbound calling, for getting that screen pop, shortening that average handle time, and giving the agents the confidence that they're talking to the right person, right? I'm sure there's some outbound that you guys are doing, but it probably pales in comparison to the volume of inbound you're getting, right?
Right.
Yeah. So beyond those use cases, Kevin, what is it that CAA is looking to do next? What is next in your path towards creating that better agent and customer experience?
Yeah, great question. And I know I literally just mentioned it right before this recording, so I know
Yeah,
this is also
I'm
kind of
going to
new
be
to you
as
guys as well.
surprised as anybody listening. I love this.
Right. So first of all, we're always looking for ways to better the member experience, right?
Yeah.
We're always looking for ways to improve the efficiency. So one of the first things we're looking to do, of course, is the auto log on. I think we mentioned this before with you.
We
The
have
auto
talked about
log
the
on
auto log
solution,
on.
we want to make sure that our agents are consistent using it, single sign on, so that we're utilizing the technology as much as possible.
Yeah.
From there, I know you mentioned earlier about the transfers and the time savings during transfer calls.
Yep.
We're also looking to see if we can even um, improve the verification process from the get-go. Doesn't even have to be a transfer. Or there's some ways that we can partner with you to maybe find a solution on making it easier for our frontline agents, or even completely taking it out of our agents' hands and now completing verification using technology. Right? That could be something we
Yes.
can explore as well.
Yeah, so that's a great question, Kevin. We've worked with customers on use cases like this before, and there are a lot of different ways that you can solve for this, right? So one thing that has gained speed, especially with like financial institutions and places where verification is, super duper important. I mean, it's always important that you know who it is you're talking to, right? But there's a little bit of a difference between when you're trying to return a product and when you're trying to access your bank account, right? So some of these other customers that we work with, verification of who it is that they're speaking with is, like a tier one, like massive deal for obvious reasons. So a trend has been sort of voice biometrics has been something that some companies have taken a look at. With the advent of AI, a lot of companies are taking a look at finding ways to weave that stuff in there as well. There are many different ways that we could work with you on sort of automating that verification process and potentially taking the agent completely out of that situation so that they could just spend their time knowing that when that call comes through, I'm talking to the right person. So, one of our customers we're actually engaged with on a sandboxing engagement. And I imagine that might be something that, when this call is over, when I'm talking to some more of your coworkers and you, I might recommend it. And so what we're doing in a sandboxing engagement is we are AMC that is taking on the burden of investigation, exploration, very basic testing of the various technologies that exist to try and solve for that use case in our own environments. Then what would probably happen next is I'd have a call with you and I'd go over, these are the technologies that we've tested for this use case. These are the results. This is the work we have left to do. Then next, I would get on a call with you and try and show you a demo of this use case from beginning to end with the technologies that we recommend. Now, at that point, you can say, hey, this was awesome. Thank you for showing us all this. But, based on what it is that you've shown us and the technologies available, this doesn't do what we needed to do. And that's fine. That's great. I think at that point, we all would have learned a lot and we can, continue supporting you the way that we are. However, the option that I would love to have happen is you say, hey, this is awesome. We want to test it in our environment. And so at that point, we would actually put it in your test environment and you guys would be able to play around with it. We'd work with you to fine tune it. And eventually we'd roll it out to production. And so that's sort of the engagement model that we want to go forward with on some of this more experimental, sort of trailblazing use cases and changes that some of our customers and strategic customers are looking to implement in their environment. Because there are just so many different ways to solve these problems, we want to make sure that we're touching as many of those ways as possible, so that we can give you the best recommendation possible. Does that make sense?
That sounds great. David, this is we definitely need to chat more then about what you guys can demo for us and show us, and maybe this can help us with our business as well to get to where we want to go in terms of efficiencies and the member experience.
Yeah, no, and everybody listening has to take a lot of what I say with a grain of salt because, I'm not a technical person. I know just enough that I could get myself in a lot of trouble, but I feel pretty confident about what it is that I just said to Kevin. So,
Wonderful.
Kevin, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking to you about CAA and the different ways that you guys are working to solve your use cases and improve the customer and agent experience. Do you have any parting thoughts for our listeners and watchers? Any car safety tips that you want to share with us, Kevin, or anything like that?
Well, definitely drive safe on the roads during the winter time.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
But definitely, just for you guys, just keep doing what you do. It's doing great. And thank you for having me here today.
Awesome. Thank you very much.